following a certificate program, vocational program. But what you've also got to couple that with, especially if you want to be a decision scientist, is the educational path, which allows you to really understand the business. I talked about developing hypotheses or being curious and understanding a bit of discipline around how you take a hypothesis and construct it in ways that the collective genius that you're going to need to do that needs to occur. So you can start, as Dr. Fairby said, this whole cybersecurity space is interdisciplinary. You can start in any discipline. Understand it. Be fascinated with an industry. Be fascinated with a discipline, and understand that discipline. And then, if you want to be in a decision science or technology field, hone your skill, master your craft. Every day, I have to have that conversation with my team because I've got people who are PhDs and master's level technologists on my team, and they are amazingly bright. But when they come talk to me, I struggle because I am not a technologist. So let's talk about the business application of the technology. So learn your skills. We have a good program here in the computer science area. Learn the skills, but also master the ability to have a conversation with somebody who is not steeped in it. Your work is only good as your ability to translate it to the person who's making the decision in the business. So that's what's critical.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, great.
Very interesting. I am not technology driven, but I work with it. My question is, in my role as a fundraiser in advancement, when I'm looking for seeking opportunities from partnerships, one of the first things that I talk about when I talk about cybersecurity is opportunities for internships. So if someone comes to FedEx, and would they have an opportunity to work in the department that you're in?
It'd be a little challenging because most of the positions in my area require masters because it is a very targeted skill set. And I've been very intentional about it because to do the work that we do, it's an emerging field. And so that, I need to keep people. And so, I was using just yesterday the whole premise of enrollment management, the retention and doing all that to try to drive home the point because the field is emerging and we've provided opportunities for people to have experience in it. There's constantly somebody recruiting away my team, even internal to FedEx. So I have a revolving door. So when I hear LeMoyne-Owen talk about enrollment management and all the challenges there, I live it every day. It's different industry, alternate reality, same problem. But what I will say is there are tons of opportunities within the IT space to be able to do that. And happy to work with anybody who's interested to get them connected with the right people. And nobody that don't look like me in here, that leadership team looks like me. So that always helps when we're having conversations. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I just heard you say most of your team has master's degrees. I'm here at LeMoyne studying cybersecurity. Next year I'll be a senior. I would like to go right into a master's degree. What master's degrees do you look for to bring into your team?
It varies. It depends on what you want to do, and I'd be happy to talk to you and understand more about what you want to do and then steer you that way. One of the other things that I do, and just this week, I work very closely with the Dean of the Business School at Emory University, which is a top 20 business school. And they have established a 1-year Masters of Science in Business Analytics program. So 10 months and you graduate and you have that. It's a highly competitive program. They have over 700 applicants and they take about 45 applicants each year. But when you come out, you are steeped in it. And part of the benefit is that my team works closely with them, and they do projects that are specific to work that FedEx needs done. And we've hired out of that program every single year. But that's just one example. There are tons of schools out there that do that. You know, I always say the best combo is the combo where you get this amazing HBCU experience, and you know, you just thrive in this environment that makes you prepared to deal with all that life throws at you, and then go to a top tier program and get that master's program. And there's some great ones out there. And you know, I'm always happy to be a thought partner with you know, the faculty, staff, students here at LOC, because you know, it's my passion. Sure.
Okay. When people think of IT, they think of like the people in the back room, like, you know, the little mousy people. I'm not that person. I want to be out front. I want to be seen. I want to talk to people. I want to converse. So is that in your department? Is that something that you guys do, or are y'all the guys that are in the back that nobody ever sees?
It's a combo. You want to be a business analyst. You want to be the person within IT who's out front, understanding the business requirements, influencing them to the extent that you understand technology, so that when they say, I want to do X, Y, Z, you then counsel and coach them and suggest to them, yeah, you want to do X, Y, Z, but maybe we want to do X, Y, Y, because the technology won't do that there. I hear what you're asking for, but I can solve your problem slightly different than what you're asking for. So it's a back and forth. That whole agile process that was one of the questions that was in the Kahoot, that's where you would shine. You would be that person who would help people to think through it, because you understand. You know, I talked about business acumen. You got to have strong business acumen to do that. So if you are heads down in the technology, that's going to be a challenging role for you to do. I took this job about 4 years ago, and my boss told me that one of the best pieces of advice she gave me was be fascinated with the business. No matter what your discipline is, when you go into a company, be fascinated with the business. If you cannot be fascinated with the business, it's not a good fit. You should probably be somewhere else. You can still be an IT person. You can still be a business analyst, but you got a long time to work. And if the fit's not right and the business doesn't fascinate you, it's not the right job.
Any more questions? I think, Darren, you had a question. Is it answered? Or are you good?
It was answered, but just one quick question. Advice for a young Black student wanting to get into the IT field, wanting to really move up and be valued in the company. What advice could you give to somebody like that?
You know what? I'll tell you, it's funny, and I'm gonna answer your question. I was driving. I stopped by the other morning at Chick-fil-A to pick up some breakfast, and there was a young brother who came up to me, and he was admiring my car, and he asked me, what did I do? And I told him what I did, and he asked me a very similar question. He asked me, you know, what would you give as advice to a young 22-year-old brother trying to come up? And I would say, and my advice was, master the art of the long view. And what do I mean when I say master the art of the long view? It's develop a plan for yourself. It doesn't have to be a perfect plan. It doesn't have to be one that's etched in stone. But if you master the art of the long view, you talk about wanting to move up. If you and I were sitting down talking about that, you'd have to tell me what that meant. Does that mean that you want to be the CIO of a company? Or does that mean you want to manage a couple people? I would have to have that conversation with you. And then we talk about, because every decision then is a function of, does it get me closer to my end objective? Because I made VP at 57. If I had made it at 40 or 42, when a lot of our counterparts make it, that's a lot more runway to make that salary. And if I had mastered the art of the long view, I would have put that role on my plan, had a timeline, and I would have worked my plan to be there earlier, not later. That, to me, is the biggest opportunity that you have, is to come up with that plan. Believe it. Think that you can do it. You know, you look at people who look like us, who are, you know, Kamala Harris, who just did it, Kanji, who's about to become the next Supreme Court justice. Set a goal and work the goal. You can change it. It ain't etched in stone. Don't be afraid that if you say it out loud that you can't change it. You are grown. If you say it out loud, speak it into existence. If something changes, be intentional about change. That's the other thing. You have to be intentional about everything you do.
Thank you, Trustee Comer.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate you
Absolutely.
taking the time, and we thank you for working through all the challenges. As you know, you have to innovate and move. And many of you, what you saw was an incredible presentation, AI, machine learning. I know it's maybe foreign to some of you, but it's the way the world is moving. And thank you for making it simple for us.
All right.
But for us techie folks, we understood, but you made it simple enough for everyone else too. I want to give you a presentation from the Center for Cybersecurity. And there's a shirt for you.
Okay.
And a couple other items to go along with that. Thank you
All right.
again. And I appreciate, and as you guys don't know, I get my mentorship and a lot of things from Trustee Comer. So a lot of stuff y'all hear here, I get to hear sometimes one-on-one to help me, even as a CIO, as a VP. You still need someone who can help you and mentor you. So for me, this today was an incredible opportunity to hear and to see, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give him another round of applause. All right. Thank you. Thanks for everyone. Appreciate your time. Look for a video later. Probably like the streaming crashed on us. However, we did get video of the presentation and many of the things. We'll have it up on the site later and on YouTube and on Facebook. Okay. Thank you.